Hello everybody. I had to go back to my video, um, the one about the decoding the matrix, because as I say, I mean it is needed to make another part, that is linked to what I was talking about that video. But as time has passed, I make another video in between, and I kind of forgot what that was about. But I'm back, so I let's see. I hope it's not too long, but let's see what happens. Um, this is our downloads that has to do with the video that I you say about, and it's downloads and things that they were already in my mind, but like I say, it was too long to make in one video. It will be just too much, and I don't know. Some people say my voice make them fall asleep. So, and I notice since I'm a kid, sometimes people start feeling fall asleep because my voice is maybe too much. I don't know. The vibration of my voice make them feel calm or relaxed. I don't know. So that's why I don't want to make videos too long, because I am scared that some people actually start falling asleep. But it's not because the content is boring. It's just like I noticed this inside my kid. Like I say, my voice is very relaxing, and a lot of people, like my siblings and one of my exes, used to love falling asleep with my voice, with the sound of my voice. I used to take it as a offense, thinking that I was too boring to be listening to. But as I've been in this journey, God is always making sure that I understand why it's important to me to use my voice to pass messages. And it's because my voice has some kind of frequency that help people to awake or change perspectives. So it's something about the frequency of my voice. It's always been there since I'm a kid, and is also, um, for those that are ready to receive it, obviously, um, it gives them that calmness, that relaxed state, relaxation state. Um, so yeah, um, I know sometimes I'm funny, but I'm not trying, but I just try not to, maybe it's too long. But anyway, so in my last video, I was talking about how find um I found out that I was being guided through tarot readings. Okay, um, I think it's very um, magical that how these things actually happen, because for once I know I was meant to to read tarot. I always been meant to do tarot, you know, either for myself or for others, but it's something that is part of my destiny, because like I always say, I am a high priestess, and I've been a high priestess in my past lives. And the metaphysical and psychic world is integrated in what it means to be me, so it cannot be separated one thing from the other. Is part of my DNA, these things, this work, because who I am as a soul level, and the purpose that I've been following since creation. So um I found very magical how the universe guide me multiple times towards tarot, right? And after 2-3 times failed, for diverse, different reasons, um, the universe was like, okay, fuck it, we're just gonna guide you to the YouTube videos, so maybe from other readers you can get the messages, because you just, you know, denying to yourself who you are on a soul level, and you're not doing it like we want you to do it. So yeah, I tried to learn tarot. I remember being fascinated by it the first time I got a reading, but I was always this kind of kid that tried to um, know more about the things that make me feel connected to the whole universe, in some way, with nature. Or I always say I'm not curious, but I am not curious for some things, like, if you know it's my birthday and you buy me a gift. Even though I know you buy me a gift, I'm not gonna be trying to know what it is. And if you ask me, guess what it is and all that, I'm just not gonna fall for it, because I don't have imagination for that. And I love people surprise me, right? I'm not that kind of curious. But I had curiosity for, learning things that make me feel excited, make my soul jump, and try to know more. And like I say always, I'm hungry for knowledge, but not just any kind of knowledge. I'm not the kind of person that will, try to learn everything about everything. And no, I am very focused, on the things that really, really um, feel like it's intertwined with my energy, my own soul. I don't just learn things just because. I learn the things that make me feel connected to it all, if that makes sense. So obviously metaphysical things, and everything that is magic, and you know psychic abilities and all these things are part of my, not just my destiny, but it's part of who I am. You cannot separate one thing from the other. It's just you can't. And so yeah, so one day, I think it was back on the end of 2022, the first time I found a video. um it was like, I always been, watching documentaries about ancient civilizations, reading books, um novels, and all this about the ancient people. And for some reason, since I was a kid, I never accepted the idea that we came from a monkey or whatever. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but since I'm a kid, I always saw that as a lie, for whatever. It doesn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me when I was a little kid, and they try to teach you know, how humanity started, and with this Darwin theory shit. And I always saw the link in between, you know. So that kind of thing is what made me curious, that kind of things, like when something doesn't make sense. In, even when everybody says it does and try to show me proof of it, in my soul doesn't make sense. To me, it's very obvious what I'm seeing. And when I was a kid, I remember being like, it's not making sense. We cannot just evolve and give this jump just like that. I mean, even when the science in the past tries so hard, and still some people try too hard to make it fit, it's just it makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things like that is what awakes my curiosity, the curiosity that leads me to learn things, to make, ask questions. So, and I always, follow my intuition, even when it looks like I don't follow, because it looks like people is laughing in my face. For example, I'm not blind. I just following my intuition, and my intuition a lot of times tells me, this is what is going on. You see perfectly. Wait, hide until there's a moment for you to, you know, appear, attack, back, whatever you want to call it, and do it with the truth, you know, even when you cannot prove it, you speaking the truth is more powerful than a proof. When people know what they're doing, doesn't matter if they die lying, they know you know. When you speak the truth, they know you know, and there's nothing more powerful than that. No, a piece of paper or a witness is that destructive, you know, for a liar than you telling them in their face what you know to be the truth. Even if they keep lying, they know that you know. And it's because I always follow my intuition. So my head, you know, tells me things, and I listen, I pay attention, I analyze, you know. Sometimes I am too logical, try to compare information, do research, you know, trying to dismiss things. And but I'm always guided, you know, by a higher power telling me, no, I'm telling you the truth. See it. Put your logic to the side, and use also your heart, because your heart knows the truth, what you are feeling, you know, how your heart feels. So it's not always about logic. You have to balance your mind and your heart. You have to be, you know, like they say, it has to be a coherence between mind and heart. You cannot be all logical or all heart. You have to be balanced. And that's why it takes me time for me to react or finally show the people that I know what they're doing or what's going on around me, you know. And sometimes I just play fool because it's funny. It's funny when people don't know what you know or how much you know, how they move around you. It's funny. Most of the time they tell them themselves, right? It's just funny when you learn how to not just read energy and body language, but also when you learn their games, you know when they start acting or playing the role, you know, you just notice everything. And it's, you know, part of my intuition, you know, when I hear the voice that say, hey, look around, look this, walk over here, so and so is gonna come in a few minutes, pay attention what she's gonna say or he's gonna do, you know, read between lines, you know. It's the voice, and a lot of us tend to ignore it because we are not balanced, you know, or we're too logical, or we are doing the hard, like, oh, but it's my friend, oh, it's my husband, oh, but it's my son, you know, shit like that, and we ignore our intuition. And that's how you dismiss a lot of messages, hints and clues that are every fucking where, you know, through this simulation. And then you get caught in the matrix, basically, because you don't use your intuition, right? So I was kind of like that, and I was awakening, but I was still not putting attention to my surroundings, because another thing that I have, or I had in the past, it was like I was a overgiving person, you know. I overgive my love, my time, my energy, my money, and a lot of stuff to the grown people sometimes, just because I love them, you know. I thought that was, you know, something from my heart, you know. And it was okay because I had good intentions, right? So I never see it as something wrong, you know, until I learned about what overgiving means and how overgiving can destroy you, you know. putting you in very hurtful situations with your loved ones, right? Because everybody start taking you for granted and even mock you and think you're stupid, weak, and all these things. So I used to love people, um, and confuse that, because if you love somebody and you can have good intentions, that means that you can trust in them. Because how you gonna love somebody that intense if you can trust them? I was naive to a certain point when it comes to the love I give, you know and I was very suspicious of everybody, but no people in my own home. I give them the benefit of the doubt all the time, because it's my mom, it's my dad, it's my sibling, it's my daughter, it's my partner, you know um it's my best friend, my co-worker. We eat lunch, every day. I mean, it's something that I was naive, that I thought like the people that you love, and you had just you had to trust them, just like that, because it's your daughter, it's your boyfriend, you have to trust them. And don't be too crazy thinking that everybody's against you, right? Your loved ones will never, right? And well, God says no. Actually, the people that is closer to you is the ones that are more um, easy to manipulate and turn them against you, so they betray you for money, for material possessions, for another man, your man. I mean, it's crazy and it's sad, but it's the truth. The closer people around you are the ones that are more easy to attack and manipulate, to turn them against you. The trickster is gonna go for the people that is closer to you first, okay? Then the strangers are coming with that, but it's always somebody closer to you, a friend, a co-worker, a relative, your own home, your own kids. Is always somebody close to you, the one that is gonna be used and tricked to go against you, right? So God has to show me, because I didn't know these things that I just say. I was naive. I'm always being a loving person, even that I have, things that I did wrong, like, cheating and all that. I was naive in love. And I think that's why I was a cheater too, because I was very naive. I thought that, um, passion was love. I thought that, people love you even when they do wrong things to you. It's just the way they are. You dismiss things, you justify things, and you are naive because you love them so much that you think they will never they will never do that to you, right? And you see red flags and you ignore them. You just ignore them because no, it's your daughter. It's your boyfriend, or it's your mom, or your sibling, or whatever, your best friend, whatever is close to you, whoever is close to you. So that was a lesson I had to learn. I was naive in, love things until God showed me otherwise. So he put me this now the most funny thing about this is how this started, because I remember very clearly I have this dream before my first tarot reading I found on YouTube. I had this dream, and it was a very interesting dream, where in my dream I saw my ex saying, I don't love her, I want to be with you, yelling over and over again. And then I see myself with this other man that I thought it was another reader, that is not coincidence, but who I thought it was in this dream was actually the first reader ever that I found on YouTube, like a month after that dream, or 2 months after that dream, or something like that. Which, when I found that reading and I saw him, no, it was the second time, the second reader, I mean, because the two first readers that I found on YouTube was males, both of them males. But it was the second one that I thought it was on my dream. And I'm still confused if he was in my dream or not. Because shit happens, and then this man released a video moments after something happens in the 5D. And it resonates a lot with the experience that I just had. And then I remember the other dream, and then I remember that he was, the second one that I found on YouTube. And I was like, is there a connection with this person? What is going on? How the universe was showing me pieces of the future, of how all this will play in the future. I'm talking about the end of 2022 and the start of 2023. It's been 2 years or more. So in this dream, like I say, I hear my ex-boyfriend saying, I don't love her, I want to be with you. And then he was anxious and desperate because he cheated on me, and he was like telling that woman that he was like regretting or something, and he didn't want to be with her. He was just sex or something like that. That was the energy of that situation. Now, in the same space that was like black space, like we were in a dark room, but it was 4 people there. My ex with this other energy that I couldn't see, but I knew it was a female energy. And then on the other side was me and this other masculine energy, right? I couldn't see the female on my ex's side, but, excuse me, I knew it was a female. And I could read the energy of what was going on. And it was because, he cheated on me with her. And he was like regretful, and trying to come back to me, like in desperation, saying, I don't love her, I want to be with you, And then it's like, the camera turns to the other scene, no? And then it was me with this other guy. This other guy was it looks bald because all this part here didn't have hair, but he was wearing a hat, a cap. So he was tall as fuck, skinny or lean, but tall as fuck. And like I say, it looks like he was bald, but it was just because this part here didn't have, it was like shaved or something, and he had a cap, so I couldn't see if he had hair, and it was just, a hairstyle or he was bald. I couldn't tell, but it looks like it was just, I don't know why that part is very clear on it's like a memory that I always came back fast, the way he looked, his face looked like this reader, okay? And also, well, at first I thought he looked like a tattoo artist, because he was back then the only bald person that I know that is tall, and had that skin color, and I couldn't understand who was this guy, or so I didn't recognize the energy, but I thought it was, this tattoo artist. And then I was like, no, why he will be in my dream like that, And then I saw this tarot reader on the TV, and I was like, was him, or what the fuck? And then I had another experience meditating, and like I say, after this experience, he released a video saying something, and then another tarot reader was talking about a situation that resonated a lot with the experience that I just had. It was like, what the fuck is going on? Everything was like connected. So I started paying attention to tarot readings. And like I say, I started just watching it for fun first, to learn more about, cards, how the way tarot readers read now, the oracles, and, we do our own cards now too, we just feel guided to do our own cards. I mean, shit has been happening, changing a lot in the tarot community since, I'm a kid. And now, obviously, I am in a different country, so it is different from I used to know. So it caught my attention. Obviously, I am very, very involved with tarot. I am very involved, and I just love tarot. I love the way you can use as a tool, to describe life situations. Is amazing. And when you have a gift, and you can canalize all that energy and be able to read the energy, it's amazing. And then if you are medium too, and you can actually use your mediumship, gifts with your psychic abilities and the tarot, it's just amazing everything that you can, all the information that you can get. And when you read to yourself, I know a lot of people say, no, but most of the readers cannot read for themselves. They need confirmations, because it's a veil there for a reason, right? We shouldn't know everything about or how things supposed to be. We have to find a way, to navigate the simulation, so we can get just a little bit of information, just what God really wants you to know. Even when you do your own cards, you still have the veil. You cannot know everything. You know just what God wants you to know through any reader or your own cards or any divination tool you need. If you get information, it's because it was meant to be. Either because you really need it to help somebody else, or because it's a trap or a test to see what you're gonna do with that information. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I start, reading. Watching the readings and learning. I'm a self-taught person. I like to observe. I like to take notes. I like to watch things in action. And learn and learn and learn, and I love to follow details and all these things. It's the way I am. So I found it very, very interesting. Very, like I say, tarot is part of who I am. So of course I will get sucked into the readings, not in an obsessive way, but because I learn a lot. A lot of them, I am very grateful for them. All the messages that God's been giving me, Spirit is giving me through them, and also a lot of their own testimonies and their own, human experiences that some of them, not all of them, share with the community. They also help you to change your perspective and see things in a different way, and also to know that you're not alone in this journey, that there is a lot of people like you with, psychic abilities and gifts, and even similar situations. They went through similar situations, and it helps you to know how to navigate those situations, or to even get information of things that you didn't know even how to fucking explain or look for, because it's just like sometimes you feel like, okay, well, magic and all these things, like how I'm gonna talk about this with somebody that will not understand me, or even gonna say that I'm crazy because they don't believe in that, or because they just can't get it that this is real. So a lot of us just keep it to ourselves and just hold back everything that we know is part of us. So seeing all these people openly, in the community, in the public, talking about all these things, I was amazed. I was like, oh my God, this is the shit, because I'm always being attracted to these things, even though I try to, you know, I was closed off and I tried to deny it, I tried to ignore it. I was like, no, this is not me. It's not me. I'm not special. I'm just, different. Um, I had to accept myself, and through these tarot readings, I finally embraced my own abilities, and then, like I say, God, the Holy Spirit, my spiritual team, the universe, start communicating with me, and I start catching, messages, and I was like, oh my God, am I tripping, or is this real? You know, this message is for me, and I must confess I ignored a lot of it for months. Um, I even I saw the red flags, and I ignore it because you see tarot and you're like, well, you cannot obsess over it. You should not obsess over it and believe everything they say, because they are talking to a collective of people, to a collective of energies. So yes, it could be a bunch of them going through the same thing, mirroring the same experiences, because they are in the same timeline with the same purpose, or learning the same lessons. So this bunch of people are going through the same thing, right? But what's the odds that I am part of that group? You know what I'm saying? So it's when you start training your discernment. And then I started thinking, well, like they say, you know your life better than I do. When you get in a reading, they tell you, you have to know if this is resonating with you, with what you know, because the people, they're just talking, right? It could be anywhere in the world. They're just talking. They don't know, they don't see you across the screen. They don't see how many people is it. I mean, psychic can see, but we cannot see hundreds of thousands of people at the same time. You can just read some energies, because the energies that are more strong is the one that we pick on, or tap in. But you cannot tap in a billion, zillions of people. It's one energy comes. A few energies come towards you are stronger than others, if that makes sense. And then the more you watch tarot reading, the more you stay in the same channel, they pick up your energy. They start knowing your energy, and they don't know your face, they don't know your name, but they recognize your energy. So they read more and more and more and give more details and all this, right? So, but I still, even sleeping with enemy and tarot readings and red flags, and I was still naive. I was still sleeping and believing in the people that I thought love me. So the time when I finally say, okay, they are talking to me, is when I start experiencing these attachments trying to jump in my body. It was getting more and more aggressive, and I start noticing that something was happening to me, like really, 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 because I start noticing that what they were saying resonates with my situation, how I was feeling, and sometimes even feels like they were looking at me directly. Like, I remember when I start my journey, I remember very clear that I had, itchiness on my back, where they supposed to, when you're supposed to grow your wings, right? So I start feeling itchy, and I didn't understand why. I was going through these, rebirths, deaths and rebirths and all these things, and then I start feeling, the itchiness, and I couldn't even fucking reach. So it was desperate, it's like an issue that you have, but you just can't fucking reach with anything. You cannot explain. And I remember one of these readers saying, she was talking about, the journey and how shit was going on, and it was resonating with me. But then she suddenly say, yeah, I'm seeing this person is trying to to scratch her back, in a zone like she can even reach. And I was doing it at the same time, and I was like, what? Like, they're looking at me like, what the fuck? You know? I got creeped out or something. Like, it was so weird. And I was like, this is not coincidence, because I don't believe in coincidences. So I was like, okay, so they are talking to me. Maybe not all the messages, maybe not all of them, but whatever looks like a coincidence is not a coincidence. They are actually trying to help me, so I need to start looking, watching, listening, and reading, because my English was still, um, like I wasn't, my vocabulary in these kind of things wasn't good, because I a lot of stuff I didn't understood, at least not in English, because Spanish is my language. So I had to learn a lot of stuff at the same time, not just about metaphysical stuff, but also the vocabulary of it, a lot of stuff. And as I was awakening, like I say, I've been under a very, very intense, I don't know, it feels like a school, but with, like you have to move fast. You have to move fast. Like, it's just crazy. So the reading that actually caught my attention for me to wake up like completely and start bullshitting myself was one that told me directly, and she looked at the camera like she was looking at me, and she said, if you don't wake up, if you don't start doing these things, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. Dead on your ass. You're gonna die. Wake up. You are for a purpose, but if you know in your purpose, they're gonna take you out, because you're not paying attention. You're ignoring all the red flags, basically. And that's not the specific words that she said, but it was something like that, and it was a whole reading, and even with instructions how to find my purpose and everything. So with an open on my heart, I start to accept that indeed they were talking to me, and that indeed they were talking about the person or the people that I was seeing. Because the gift of discernment that I have, and I've been explaining this to some people, the gift of discernment that I have, I don't know how discernment works on anybody, because I don't know, everybody perceive their own gifts in a different way, and even readers are different. Even you can have two readers in the same room, and they're gonna pick up the same energy, but probably they're gonna pick different things or different messages, because like I say, God allows you to see what he wants you to see. That means that 5 readers can pick the same energy, but God is gonna just give a little to each, and some gonna have information that the others will not, because the agility to to read the energy and all that, the experience, and the gifts that they already unlocked could be different too. So that's why 2 or 3 readers, 5 readers that talk about the same thing can give you different perspectives, these different pieces of the puzzle, and you can learn a lot of things from all of them too, and how to navigate with these things. But you have to use your discernment. You have to be very wise, because we shouldn't use tarot readings to lead our lives, okay? We should not, ever, okay? We shouldn't see it as entertainment purposes neither. That is a misleading thing that a lot of people say just to avoid problems on YouTube and other things, but it's wrong, because you are misleading when you say just for entertainment purposes, but all your fucking video is resonating with somebody. You confuse that somebody, okay? And then people that are not in alignment with their own self, the higher self, their own discernment, get confused, okay? and they get lost because what I'm saying is not the truth. Then because you say it's entertainment purposes only, then should I believe or not? And then they ignore things, or they overreact and take everything, just like it was saying, So I think it's very important for everybody, them to say, and we to understand as a viewers, that they say, you know your life, okay? You know your life. You have to use your own discernment, intuition, and everything, because they just speaking. They just speaking. They just saying. But you cannot just be like, oh, it's me. They're talking about me. Oh, I'm gonna die. Or oh, my neighbor is attacking me. Or oh, my husband is cheating on me, because it's not always you. Yes, it's like 100 people watching or billions or whatever, but it's the energies that are stronger are the ones that the readers pick, or are able to tap in, okay, or the ones that the spirit team picked for you to get the message out for them, okay. Sometimes a lot of viewers, but a spirit wants a specific person or group of people to listen to something, and it's only for them. That's why you have to be very, 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 very smart and have common sense, and has to use tarot readings, not just on TV, but also when you go and pay for one, okay? Use your discernment. If it's not happening to you in your life or for you in your life, don't panic, okay? Let things, develop, but keep, an eye close to everybody, your close friends and everything, just in case, right? But don't overreact, don't obsess with what the tarot reader is saying, because it could be not you, it could not, be your situation, okay? A lot of them, in their disclaimers, when they speak, they start their readings, or they have disclaimers on their YouTube channels, on their description box and all these things. They tell you, if it doesn't resonate with you, it is not for you. If you are confused, if you have doubts, it's not for you. Don't make it fit, right? Don't overthink, don't obsess with it, okay? And don't come back every day just to see if it's true or if it's not true, okay? If at first you came and nothing resonated with you, then it's not gonna resonate, Some people start manifesting what they hear because they start acting like shit is happening, And it's a crazy thing to explain, but sometimes you can actually manifest things in your life by believing that these things that they're talking about are for you, when it's not, because you make things in your head, okay? So you have to use your discernment. Also, when you hear a name call out, or you see a sign, a zodiac sign call out, don't go for it immediately, because as always, we all know there is plenty of Matthews, plenty of Joshes, plenty of Davis, plenty of Raúls, there is a lot of people with the same fucking name. And it's not just that. A lot of people can share even the same things. They will be the same name, living in the same city you are, even went to school that you went, and it's none of them. You know what I'm saying? It's just you have to use your discernment. With the zodiac sign is the same. Don't believe that because they say Taurus, it's actually a Taurus. The person they were talking about, or they're talking about, because it could be, you could be the Taurus, the other person could be the Taurus, or it's just highly, in their charts, like for example, I have 4 Libras, 4 Tauruses, okay? I have my main tree is the Taurus Sun, rising Sagittarius, and North Leo, okay? My Venus is, I think, is Libra, and my moon is Cancer, right? So what this means? This means that I can watch any fucking tarot reading with any of these fucking signs, and they will all resonate with me if I am in that frequency that they are talking, if they are actually tapping in my energy, any zodiac sign that I just mentioned will be the strongest, that I will resonate with. I will resonate with Leo, I will resonate with Libra, I will resonate with Taurus, I will resonate with Virgo. I have 4 Virgos for Taurus. Now 3 Taurus for Virgos, yeah, or 4 and 4, and 2 Libras. I say backwards. But anyway, so those are the strongest, right? But I also have the Sagittarius rising. If you know astrology, you will understand that each place in your chart means different things or are about different things. Some are related with your finances, some are related with your psychic abilities, some are related with your shadow side, some are related with your family, your even your sex drive, is depending on where are positioned in your chart. But whatever energy you are embodying right there, or the other person is embodying right there, is the energy that's gonna come strong. What that means, that for example, I'm a Taurus, right? But I am constantly leading with my passion of the things that I do. So I will resonate stronger with a Leo, okay? Because the passion, right? The leading, okay, is my North Node, right? And the loyalty and all these traits that Leos have, okay? Even though my sun's sign is Taurus, right? Why? Because it's the energy that I'm working right now. It's the energy that I'm embodying, So it's the energy that they gonna pick from me, right? When I am in my Queen of Swords energy, right? The touch and cold, cutting throats, defending myself, speaking truth. I'm gonna resonate with Aquarius, right? Or Libra, right? Sometimes even Gemini, right? When I am, working on my energy, when I am a smart ass, right? And I am very, very focused on my logical side, I'm gonna resonate with these signs, right? So that being said, when I find a reader, even though it says Libra, the reading can be about me, And once you master all the elements, is another thing. When you master all the elements, all the zodiac signs gonna resonate with you without a doubt. Why? Because, as again, it's the energy you are embodying, or the people around you is embodying, right? For example, let's say my ex is a Gemini, right? But he is being very malicious, or very, in his shadow, let's say, he's embodying an energy of a Scorpio, right? He will, even if he gets, too greedy, or just work, he will embody the energy of a Capricorn, right? An air sign, all over the pentacles and share like that. So sometimes readers pick up his energy, but it will call him the Gemini, they will call him a Taurus, or they will call him a Scorpio, right? Or my ex is a Sagittarius, right? But he's, embodying the energy of a Scorpio. They will call it Scorpio, but me, because my discernment, because I also read energy and I also read tarot, I know for a fact that even they say in Scorpio, I know who they are talking about, because I know my story, right? I know that even if they say in Scorpio, I know that everything that they say is exactly what this person did, because I know my story. I know who he is. And the power or gift of discernment that I have is so clear to me that even when you say, for example, and I explain this to a lot of people, no videos, I don't think, but in my past, let's say, they making a tarot reading, right? And they say, well, this Queen of Swords, right? They get a Queen of Swords in the reverse, right? You can say, well, the Queen of Swords is Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, in the reverse. What is, when they are in the reverse, it's just, not even logical, they just spitting, nonsense, and they are using their power, they're not using the truth, they're manipulating the truth, they in the reverse, they're a tyrant, right? Let's say one of my friends is a Taurus, right? She embodied this, Venusian energy and this early energy, but she is acting from a Queen of Swords in the reverse energy. So my discernment tells me the name. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if this happened to other people, but when they say Queen of Swords in the reverse, and the reading is already resonating with my situation, I hear so and so. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear Queen of Swords in the reverse. The name pop or the face pop in my face immediately, and I know who the Queen of Swords in the reverse is, or who is moving with this energy around me. That's why it's hard for people to mislead me when they cloak their energy, or they are trying to appear like, oh, this Scorpio is now, regretful, is in his feelings, trying to, ask for forgiveness and in love with you now. So it's gonna appear like a Cancer, because he's in his feelings. He's acting from a energy that is watery, emotions, all over the place and things like that. So it's gonna be like a Cancer, let's say, right? But I don't hear that. I hear so and so. You know what I'm saying? Or the face pop in my face, in my mind immediately. That's how I knew how to navigate through these readings. It's not just what the people says. It's to have the discernment to know they're talking to you. Is the universe trying to communicate with you? Is they are giving you messages for you to pay attention, right? So it was in a way like a training for my discernment. All these tarot readings that I started watching when, my journey was like it was not starting, but it was, already going, was also like a test, a call for my gifts to be awakened, to be, basically back online, right? To start tapping in on my psychic abilities, my discernment, to start peeking behind the veil little by little until the veil went more and more and more, fading away. So, like I say, this simulation, this matrix, this video game has a lot of clues. And to me, the readers, I start seeing them as this kiosk or stands, that you see inside games, that you go and click X and they start, putting letters there and saying readers or things so you can find whatever, or level up in the game, past levels and all this shit. So, yeah, my perspective of the whole world changed right there. And again, I start paying attention to everything. I start comparing, analyzing, trying to use my logic, and against my heart, and my heart against my logic, and trying to not make it fit in or make sense, but to see the bigger picture, the possibilities that is actually me, who they are talking to, that those are exactly part of the messages for me, that I am part of that group, that is in that exact timeline, because everybody is in different timeline. And the reader tells you it's different from everybody depending on what timeline you are. Some are awakening, some are in the middle of the road, some are, being for a lot of years. They are in a different level, different, consciousness, or whatever, the different dimension already, Some are already, finished the line and they're not here with us no more because they already went through all the things and they gone, right? They were called already. Some already came back, babies and all that. You don't know, but it's like if you really pay attention, if you know how to use to discern, to use things on your benefit without overreact and over obsess, but working on your discernment and your intuition and all that, and I say it, you have to be emotionally intelligent to be able to tap in your intuition and your wisdom, your inner wisdom, your discernment. Because if you are not emotionally intelligent, if you're not a balanced person, you're gonna overreact and over, obsess with readings, thinking that everything is exactly what you're living. No, stop and think. I am using my discernment. I am part of that group. What exactly is happening in my life? Do that resonate with me? Because, like I say, you are the one that knows your life better than any reader in the fucking world. You are the one that knows what is going on. And you have to feel in your heart if that message is for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Use it just as a, I say it always, every time the trickster tried to convince me that I need to stop, learning tarot, because the trickster didn't like me to start getting the truth out. I always say tarot readings from good guides, because there's different kind of tarot readers, and I say it before, there's a lot of fake people. There's people for everybody. They are all different. They are hold different messages. They're spiritual teams. Some are share spiritual teams with you. Some are part of your tribe. Some are just, for fun. Some are just, don't go too deep into spirituality because that's not their purpose or whatever. They are different. But when you find a good tarot reader that resonates with your soul, and you start listening, you will know that it's not just a tarot reading thing. You will know that they in their work, what they use to service God, to honor God, to help us, they are speaking truths. They are helping you to awaken to things and situations they are also went through. Similar to the things that I do when I talk about my testimony. These tarot readings also channel a lot of messages. A lot of them don't use cards. Like me, I don't use cards. I use, channel things, information that, mix with my own experiences. They come out like these messages from the divine, the things that I can speak, to help people to change a little bit, the perspective and see things in a different way so they can better their life and their own journey or their own experience. And as always, nobody has to do it, but if you want to do it, if you want to take it and it works for you, it's good, it serves their purpose. But a lot of them use cards, a lot of them don't. We channel things through cards, to crystal balls, to you know to help the community. And it's not tapping in nothing that is evil or anything. It's just tapping on these hints, clues, and basic things that the universe is trying to show to you for you to have a better experience on life. Now, the intention that you have behind of how you take this help, how you take these things, how you view tarot, how you start satanizing, anything, just because it goes against whatever you learned before, or your religion or whatever, that is on you. That doesn't mean that we are not helping. That doesn't mean that we are not part of a tribe. That doesn't mean that we are not linked with God. That is just your perception about what we are doing, the work that we are, that we have right now. Okay? Whatever you think about us, whatever you want to say about us, it's your own perception of how you think things are, because you still have a veil, okay? Or you're just too stubborn to be open to thinking a different possibility, But that doesn't mean that because you think or you perceive us as an enemy or as a, satanic shit, that doesn't mean that that's what we are. We are actually working for the divine. A lot of us are actually connected, plugged in completely with God. Okay? But you have to use your discernment. You have to know exactly what are you listening to. Because, and why you are expected to listen, because if you go and watch a tarot reader, because you want to see if fulanitos also is cheating on you, and you pick a reader that is more here to live, the vibration of the planet and guide you spiritually, to become a better person, you are picking the wrong reader. That reader is not for you. And it's okay. You just have to look something else, right? But also you have to understand and have the discernment that you should not live your life just because a tarot reader says something. If it's not for you, it's not for you, and don't make it fit. It will not be for you. But it's a very, very, very amazing tool that I found to be a beautiful guidance from the universe. At least for me, or to me, you know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people is being guided by tarot readings, channelers, more than anything, because the messages that they channel, not because the cards, it's not because, oh, tarot is evil and it's tarot. No, we use the cards, okay? The cards, if you are really, really an skeptic, skeptic or whatever, I don't know how to say this word, but you know what I'm saying. If you're too logical, use your logic and do some research. What is tarot really, really are? Not why it was created. Or, oh, it's because witches and warlocks and the cult use it. Not because they corrupted a tool, that means that the tool is evil. Okay? Evil are the intentions of the people behind that use tarot, right? It's your intention. It's always gonna be your intention behind anything and everything. You corrupted things by your intentions, right? The man is who corrupted everything. Love, sex, okay? The most beautiful thing can be corrupted by the heart of a man, okay? Is the intentions behind. It's not the tool. It's not the card, okay? It's what are your intentions for using it, okay? The tarot deck talks about the journey of the fool. The fool is the human that goes through this journey through life, okay? If you want to know more about tarot and see it from a psychological perspective, in a logical way, study, you do research, and see that the tarot deck, the whole thing, is about the journey of the fool, and the fool being as the human being that goes through life. Is the journey, okay? The story, the complete story, the full story of humanity, of a being that goes through his own journey or her own journey. That's what it is. That's why we can describe the images to the tarot with similar situations in life. Because we tap in your energy, your situation mix with what we are seeing in the cards as a tool. It's not evil. Educate yourself before you accuse something to be evil. When we all know and should know that evilness is in the intention of the person, people that has to use anything and everything in this world. You can use anything with bad or good intentions. It's always the intention. It's not a thing. Like they say, money is not evil, money is not bad. It's the people that are corrupted, that are greedy, or the people that don't know how to use money. People is the one that corrupt things. The man, the heart of a man, mankind, is what corrupts things, depending the intention. Sex is the most beautiful thing in the fucking world, in the fucking universe, that you can experience when you love and you are intimately connected with another soul. It's the best thing to connect with another soul, with the whole universe even. But it's corrupted with lust, you know? It's seen as something that can be exchanged for money, material things. People use it to get what they want and to corrupt and hurt others, like abusing kids, abusing women, men, you know? Because it's corrupted. It's the intention. The same is tarot. Tarot is not evil. If you as a therapist that use psychology to help others, if you could understand tarot, if you will use your logic and educate yourself and follow the whole journey of the Fool, and you really understand tarot, you can even use it to heal people without even using medicine. Is that how big a simple tool can be when it's used correctly or for a good cause? You can heal people by using tarot, by using oracle cards, by using any divination tool. You can heal them by guiding them. It's your intention. It's not the thing or the tool per se. It's your intention behind. You know what I'm saying? Just like people use government to steal, and there's people that use government to heal, to help. It's the same thing. Everything is in the heart of the mankind, and that is what has to change. When your heart start changing, or your heart chakra start opening, your perspective start changing too. But if you are closed off, if you just have resentment, bitterness, you know, you like to misjudge and criticize things as something that they are not, just because that's how you perceive it, then you are wrong. Because how you dare to not use your common sense and accuse a thing of being something when everybody knows, I should know, that a thing by itself cannot do shit if you don't put certain energy on it. You need to be smart. So if you are a therapist, and if you are a religious person that loves to accuse tarot readers or see tarot as something diabolic and accuse people of being diabolic because of that, I invite you to educate yourself and do research. Use your knowledge, your degree, your career to do something good for yourself and educate yourself in something. And if you are a badass therapist, you should know better. You should know better. You should know psychology. You should know mind. And anything in this fucking world is evil until somebody put the evil energy on it and use it with bad intentions. So be smart, okay? So tarot readings nowadays is being the tool that is most used by the spiritual teams and the universe and God itself to communicate with us, the ones that are on this journey. Not all tarot readers are for us, and not all tarot readings have a meaningful message behind them. You have to use your discernment, and you have to know how to navigate this simulation with all the help that you can. And if you are in a spiritual journey and you like tarot, if you feel amazed by the tool and the things that we can use or do with it, I invite you to know more and discover a lot of things about yourself that you can discover through tarot or through any channeler reader that are out there that are here to help the community. You know what I'm saying? So this is the second part of this decoding the matrix. Okay, this is a very important tool. You don't have to use it. You don't have to do it. You don't have to watch tarot readers if that is not your thing. But if it's your thing, or it's something that you like to do, use your discernment, listening, understand, do research, educate yourself about energies, zodiac signs, astrology, so you don't get misled by an emotion thinking that is your partner who is cheating on you because the tarot reader says is cheating on you. No, don't get misled just because they say a certain zodiac sign that is your partner. It happens to be your partner, or your parents. You know, don't get misled. Use your common sense. Be smart. Educate yourself. And if it doesn't fit, doesn't fit. But if it does fit, follow it. Because you can find a beautiful guidance in those messages. Very beautiful guidance in those messages. And I am here to tell you that is not a lie. Because I've been guided to awaken my connection with tarot for a reason. And I've been guided through tarot with my own cards and other readers. I've been guided through channelers to be in my own journey, and I've been inspired by them as well. And that's how I've been, taking this simulation easy, thanks to them. And one day I'm gonna read the whole list of the tarot readers out there that are not just my favorites, but I resonate with them the most. Excuse me. But I also found a lot of wisdom. And their energy is so pure and so good that there's no chance for you to be misled by following them. One day I'm gonna give my whole list, because they've been guiding me through all these years, 2 years now. And I also been, sharpening my intuition and my gifts through them, learning from them, awakening my gifts through them, learning from them. We are here all learning, okay? And I'm always open to learn and keep learning. I don't know everything. I will never know everything. It's just too much information. It's just too much things. But I want to know what God wants me to know this time around. I want to learn everything that I can, that is meant for me to learn. And I will use anything and everything on my benefit to learn, with the intention to learn and expand my consciousness, my knowledge, and my wisdom. It's just, I hope it helps, this clarification. I hope it helps you to guide you when you see another reading, if that is your thing, obviously. You will find that it's very amazing how you guys connect through these people to communicate with you. It's magical. It's very magical when everything starts being, if it's for you, like I say, if it's meant for you, because a lot of spiritual things guide their people in different ways, okay? They guide you in different ways and through different tools on different persons. No, a lot of them find gurus and, religion or whatever is what is meant for them, for their life experience and their purpose or mission right now at this time. Not everybody's meant to be following tarot readers. Not everybody. It's just a few people. And most of the tarot readers are part of the tribes, the guys, the ones that are in guiding the light workers and everybody. Okay? It's like the news. Every time when you are connected to this and you understand what is the community doing, you start noticing that every day or every time you hear, what you hear is like watching the news about the community, the spiritual community. But if you're not part of the spiritual community, if you don't understand this, if you don't have the gifts, if you don't discern, if you don't have your intuition, if you are asleep, you will not get nothing. But those that are tapped in understand what I'm saying. When you watch tarot and you are very, very connected, what you listen is news. I say that when the trickster tried to tell me to quit tarot, I was like, no, man, no. Those are updating me about what's going on, you know, in this realm, in the simulation, and up there, you know, is the news. It's not just the messages from my spirit, but it's also the messages for the whole collective. It's the news, but you have to find the right tarot readers that are gonna deliver the right messages that are meant for you and only for you. Of course, there is a group. It's always groups that are in the same timelines that are having similar experiences because we are in different timelines. Okay, so I hope this helped you. If it's like I say, if it's not your thing, it's okay. You can find guidance through other things, you know, hypnotic regressions, a lot of things you can find to find guidance and tap in your past lives, in your purpose, your mission. Everybody does different things. I found tarot to be my thing because it's in me since I'm a kid. It's part of who I am. The way I can translate the messages I have is through tarot, you know, is by using the journey of the fool, you know, through the journey of life, you know, that I am going through basically, and everybody goes. So yeah, it has to be another part of this video because this one is already passing 1 hour. So I'm gonna come back with a third part. um, I don't know if I'm gonna make a different video in between, but I will back soon. I hope you like this message. I hope it's very informative. I hope it helps. I know a lot of people know these things already and it's okay, but this message is for the ones that are confused or don't know how to navigate these things, or wondering why, thinking maybe that I'm obsessed with tarot, and it's not. It's just a tool. And by you understanding what tarot is, what it means for me, and what it actually means for the community, probably you're gonna take it more seriously, and maybe it's gonna help you to see, to change your perspective about it and see in a different way, and not just like an evil thing, because it's everything but evil. Okay, evil is the intentions of the heart of the mankind. It's not a thing, you know. It's here. You put that energy and you turn it into that. Okay, so yeah, I love you all. I love you as always. Have a beautiful rest of the week, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.